Hello wine people, in this video I'll talk about grape variety Chardonnay. I'll explain everything what you need to know about this grape variety for your WSET Level 2 in wines. This channel is for you if you just want to learn a little bit about wine, or you're preparing for your WSET exams, or you want to change the world of wine with us together. So let's go! Okay, wine people, in this video I will explain all the styles of Chardonnay. We'll talk about viticulture, winemaking, appellations, labeling, everything that is relevant to this grape variety for WSET Level 2 in wines. We made two separate videos on all white wine appellations and all separate video for all red wine appellations for WSET Level 2. So if you did not see these videos, we got a lot of good feedback. It was very helpful for WSET students, or in general if you want to learn about wine. These videos on specific grape varieties, we go a little bit deeper and explain everything that is relevant to each grape variety. And on the end of this video, we will answer 10 WSET multiple choice questions. Chardonnay is one of the most widely grown and widely available grape varieties. You're gonna find it everywhere. Many wineries, it doesn't matter on the region, they produce Chardonnay. Chardonnay is a grape that expresses very well where it's grown and also the winemaking techniques that are used in the winery, and I'll explain all this in this video. It also has Chardonnay has reputation, especially in the past, that was treated styles of Chardonnay that were treated too much with oak aging, and wines that were really rich and powerful and full of texture. So this is, I would say, the more older style of Chardonnay that maybe got bad reputation because of this. But today Chardonnay and most of the trend in the winemaking styles are more with less oak or used oak and less ripeness, lighter, fresher wines. Just 1 second. So Chardonnay, like I said, expresses very well where it's grown, the climate, and also the winemaking. But this can also be said to any grape variety, but Chardonnay has this tendency that is produced in such a variety of styles. So depending on the climate, the wines will produce more riper styles, riper fruit, and if they come from a cooler climate, the grapes will have more acidity, more freshness, and less ripe fruit. So you can see here how the flavor profile of Chardonnay changes depending on the climate, and also how the acidity changes depending on the climate. So a Chablis from a northern Burgundy will have green apple and high acidity, fresh fruit, where, for example, a Napa Valley Chardonnay will have medium acidity and more mango and pineapple, these tropical flavors. Chardonnay has this reputation that many winemaking techniques can be used in the winemaking. Not all of them, depending on what is the idea of the winemaker, but the three main winemaking techniques that you need to be aware of is oak aging, is lees aging, and it is malolactic conversion. I talk about, there's a separate video where I explain the winemaking, everything that is relevant for WSET Level 2. So if you did not see this video, please take a look. So depending on the winemaking techniques, oak aging can be used to add oak aroma to the wine. Lees aging will add, so lees is that dead yeast. When the fermentation is finished, it stays like a dust in the barrels or in the fermentation tanks, and it's used to add texture to the wine and also yogurty, creamy aromas. And then also malolactic conversion is a process where malic tart acid is changed to a more milk-like lactic acid. Color style of Chardonnay. The color changes depending on the style, from pale to medium, and also depending on the age. If a wine comes from a more cooler climate and it's a young wine, it means that it didn't age. It's going to be pale lemon. If the wine comes from a warmer climate, if it has contact with oxygen, if it was aged in oak, especially if it stays few years in a bottle, it will change color to more deeper medium gold color. Chardonnay in most cases is always made in a dry style. Acidity will change depending on the climate. High acidity in a cool climate, medium acidity in a warm climate. Alcohol again changes depending on the climate. Body light to full, again from the same reasons. Flavor also changes depending on the climate. So you're gonna have green fruit like green apple, green pear in a cool climate. In a more moderate climate, it will get more peach and nectarine, and then in a even warmer climate, it's gonna have this pineapple, mango, tropical aroma flavors. And also depending on the style of wine, the wine making techniques will also change. Usually with the lighter versions of Chardonnay, oak is not used, or it's used very carefully, where Chardonnays that are from a warmer climate, that have more ripeness, more body, can withstand aging in oak barrels for a longer period of time, or new oak. In the vineyard, what you need to know, Chardonnay can grow in any climate, and depending on the climate, it will change its flavor and style. Challenges: can produce high yields. Chardonnay can produce anything from cheap, inexpensive, uninspired wines to that are usually also blended with some other grape varieties like Semillon Blanc, especially in Australia. But it can also produce outstanding, super high quality and super premium Chardonnay examples. For winemaking, it's usually not blended with any grape varieties. For premium examples, it's always 100% Chardonnay. Where, like I said, for entry level, cheap wines that are not representing the grape or the region, it's usually blended. It can be blended with grape variety like Semillon in Australia. Oak aging, oak fermentation, malolactic conversion, and lees aging are all winemaking techniques that can be used for Chardonnay. Development: it's a grape variety that can age in a bottle and develop these tertiary aromas like mushroomy, hay-like, also like nutty aroma like walnuts and hazelnuts. So this is how I, when I have dry information, like when I need to remember facts, one thing that I like to do is put it on a spreadsheet in Excel, and then add other information that I can associate with a grape variety or appellation. So if you saw those two videos, you're going to see a lot of these Excel sheets where I put grape variety, region, country, region, and anything else that is specific for that grape variety and region for this level. So here you can see the Chardonnay is grown in many locations. Countries that you need to remember for Chardonnay is France, USA, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, and Chile. If you saw the video on Pinot Noir, you're going to see that the regions where Pinot Noir grows are very similar to the regions where Chardonnay grows. So and it's usually connected with sparkling wines. Countries that we need to know is France. In France, you need to know few things. It is very important for you to understand Pinot Noir and Chardonnay in France and the hierarchy, especially in Burgundy. So I'll explain that now. In France, we're going to start with Burgundy, and the most northern appellation for Chardonnay is Chablis. It's part of Burgundy. It's the most northern part of Burgundy. It's actually 100 kilometers from Dijon, from the city of Dijon. So it's actually more closer to the Champagne region than to the rest of Burgundy. It has a cool continental climate. It produces very lean, fresh green apple, citrus, lemon style of Chardonnay. Labeling terminology that you need to know for Chablis is it's basically a hierarchy level that determines where the grapes are grown and also indicates the quality level of these wines. So the terminology is Petit Chablis, Chablis, Premier Cru, and Grand Cru. So Petit Chablis and Chablis are regional appellations. Premier Cru is a single vineyard appellation, and then Grand Cru is also a single vineyard appellation, but on the highest level. Next we go south, also in the region of Burgundy, the appellation of Bourgogne. Bourgogne indicates that the grapes can come from anywhere in Burgundy, which also includes Chablis as well. Going even more south, we go to the region of Côte d'Or. Côte d'Or is divided in north and southern part. The northern part is called Côte de Nuit, the south part is called Côte de Beaune. For Chardonnay, the more important is the southern part and the villages of Meursault, Pouligny-Montrachet. Then there's a separate region, even more south than Côte d'Or. It's called Mâconnais, and in the region of Mâconnais, you need to remember Mâcon, region of Mâcon, and specifically the village of Poulet-Foussay. I'll show you later on as well a slide where you have this regional appellation Bourgogne, then you have the village appellations like Meursault, and then you have the single vineyards Premier Cru and Grand Cru. The most southern part of France that is connected with Chardonnay is a large region of Languedoc-Roussillon, and a very interesting region of Pays d'Oc, which is basically a large appellation that grows many grape varieties in a variety of style. It has a warm Mediterranean climate, so usually the style of wines from this region are more riper and fuller. Then we go to United States. You need to know two regions, California and Oregon. And in California, you need to remember Los Carneros, Sonoma, Napa Valley, Santa Barbara County. Also, there's a region of Central Valley. California has a warm Mediterranean climate, and this Central Valley region is more inland. It's separated from the ocean by mountains, and it has a warm continental climate. That the cooling of the ocean is not really relevant to this part of California, and the style of Chardonnay here is high alcohol, ripe fruit, and usually high yields that produce uninspiring style of Chardonnay. The regions of appellations of Los Carneros, Sonoma, even Santa Barbara County, they're on the coast, so they're affected by the cooling breezes of the Pacific Ocean. You have also the fog influence there, so this it moderates the climate, it prolongs the growing season, it helps Chardonnay to produce fresher style of wine, where, for example, Napa Valley, it's more inland, so it produces more fuller style of Chardonnay. Oregon is in the north. It has a more moderate climate, and it produces fresher style than compared to California, for example. South Africa, Western Cape is that large region that usually, if it says Western Cape, I'm not going to expect anything premium quality of Chardonnay, but if you get a wine Chardonnay from Walker Bay, which is a cool part of Western Cape, then you can expect a premium style of Chardonnay. In Australia, southeastern Australia is this large region in southeastern Australia that usually you're gonna get high volume brand Chardonnays that could be blended with Semillon as well. This will also reflect, you'll see on the price. But if you get a Chardonnay from a more moderate climate regions like Adelaide Hills, Yarra Valley and Margaret River, you can expect a more premium style of Chardonnay. New Zealand, Marlborough and Hawke's Bay. New Zealand is generally moderate climate, where you can get some great value for money wines. In Chile, you need to remember two regions, Central Valley. There's Central Valley in California. There's Central Valley in Chile, and usually these Central Valleys are have a very warm continental climate that produces high yield, simple style of Chardonnay. Casablanca Valley, on the other hand, in Chile is one of the coolest appellations in Chile and produces a very fresh style of Chardonnay. You don't need to remember these numbers. It's just FYI, but I just want to show you how the quality hierarchy in Burgundy looks like, and this is also associated with Pinot Noir as well. So 52% of the production is actually regional wines like Bourgogne. Then 36% is village wines like, for example, Meursault. 10% of the wines comes from single vineyard premier cru sites, and then 2% comes from the highest quality Grand Cru sites. This is how the Chablis labeling terminology looks like. So depending on the quality, we start with lowest, most simplest style of Chablis, which is called Petit Chablis. Then we go to Chablis. Then we go to a Premier Cru, and then on the Premier Cru it's going to say Premier Cru, and then it's going to say the name of the vineyard, of the Premier Cru vineyard. In this case is Violons, and then the highest quality of Chablis will be Chablis Grand Cru, and then it's going to say again Grand Cru, and it's going to say the Grand Cru vineyard Burgos. Okay, and you'll see on the wines the price will change from something like 20 euros for Petit Chablis to 100 plus euros for Grand Cru. For Côte d'Or, the central part of Burgundy, we're going to start with the regional appellation of Bourgogne, village appellation of Meursault, Meursault Charmes Premier Cru, and then Montrachet Grand Cru. Usually the Grand Cru wines in Côte d'Or are more expensive than Chablis wines. Okay, so we have all this information for Chardonnay. Let's now test our knowledge with 10 example questions. Please let me how well you did and let me know if you have any question. Chardonnay is only used for premium wines, true or false? This is false. Chardonnay can be used for simple, uninspired white wines blended with other grape varieties, or it can produce premium wines that express terroir and winemaking. Which characteristics does Chardonnay from a warm climate have? High acidity and green fruit, high acidity and tropical fruit, medium acidity and floral notes, medium acidity and tropical fruit. The correct answer is D, medium acidity and tropical fruit. Which winemaking techniques can be used for Chardonnay? Oak aging, lees aging, malolactic conversion, All the above. The correct answer is D, all the above. Which appellation has a cool climate? Pouilly-Fuissé, Chablis, Central Valley, Napa Valley. This is not the type of question that that you expect on WSET Level 2 in wines, but the whole point for you is to get more understanding. So what is the point of this question? Which appellation has a cool climate? You need to, how you're going to answer this? You know that Chablis is located in the north of Burgundy. So this indicates that the wine will have a cool climate. All the rest, Pouilly-Fuissé, we talked about, it is the southern part of Burgundy, which means that it's more warmer than Chablis. And then Central Valley and Napa Valley, we know that it has a warm climate. And then based on the climate, you also understand what kind of ripeness level and acidity you will have in these wines. Which term indicates highest quality? Bourgogne, Premier Cru, Grand Cru, Meursault. The correct answer is C, Grand Cru. In Australia, Chardonnay is sometimes mixed with which grape? Sauvignon Blanc, Riesling, Pinot Grigio, Semillon Blanc. The correct answer is D, Semillon Blanc. Which appellation has the warmest climate? Chablis, Meursault, Mâcon, Pays d'Oc. So again, similar question with Chablis, with the coolest climate. Here the idea is for you to understand that Pays d'Oc, which is located in Languedoc-Roussillon, is the most southern part. In France, it's on the Mediterranean. It has a warm Mediterranean climate. Which region is located in South Africa? Margaret River, Hawke's Bay, Walker Bay, Oregon. The correct answer is C, Walker Bay. Which region is located in Australia? Chablis, Adelaide Hills, Napa Valley, Los Carneros. The correct answer is B, Adelaide Hills. Which region produces lowest quality Chardonnay? Chablis, Central Valley, Napa Valley, Marlborough. The correct answer is B. Again, this is not type of WSET question, but the idea is when you see a label in front of you and it says the appellation, you will recognize that Central Valley is appellation that is that produces simple Chardonnay wines. Let me know how well you did. Wine people, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. We hope these videos are fun and informative for you. Please consider sharing, subscribing, liking our videos. This will help us to grow this wine channel and create a wine people global community that will change the world. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.